Gamecast from MSN.
Hi and welcome back to the MSN Tech and Gadgets Gamecast with Iain Lee. This is the August edition, and I'm Jane Douglas, one of your Tech and Gadgets editors, along with Nick Taylor.
Hello.
Take it away, Iain, please.
Well, let's start as we always start, is what we've been playing this month. I'm going to go first if I can, please, miss, because I never do. And I was in Oxfam the other day with my nephew, who was trying to buy cuddly toys and getting a little bit stroppy when he brought the wrong one. But I saw two PS1 games for £2 each. Thought you can't go wrong. Time Crisis, which is good. It wasn't what I thought it was. I was trying to buy... What was the game I was trying to buy and I've forgotten it? What's the game where you travel through time and you shoot things?
Oh, Time Splitters.
Time Splitters. I thought I got confused and thought it was Time Splitters, but it wasn't. So I played a little bit of Time Crisis on the PS3, but I don't think it worked properly.
Do you have the light guns?
No, the light guns don't work on HD TVs. I don't think. They certainly don't for the Dreamcast.
Okay.
So I'm pressing the buttons, and I don't think it was working very well. But the other game I played and got totally sucked into it and lost 3 nights of my wife saying, "I'm going to bed, you come, I'll be up in a minute," and and suddenly creeping up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Wipeout, the original Wipeout.
Nice.
Man, that's a good game, isn't it?
Awesome.
And the graphics were nowhere near as good as I remember them being. Wipeout was the game that got me back into gaming after missing out on the SNES and all that nonsense. When I saw a Wipeout on the Sega Saturn, and I was like, wow, when did games get this good? So Wipeout was the thing that got me back into games and got me to buy a PlayStation, all of that. Man, it's just awesome. It's just as fast. The music's a little bit annoying, but it's just as fast and as good as I remember. The graphics a little bit blocky, but that's fine. But addictive, Moorish, and wonderful. Is Wipeout HD, is that a reworking of the original Wipeout, or is it different?
I think it borrows a lot of the previous game, not the original game. In fact, I've been playing Wipeout HD Fury, which is the first downloadable content pack.
Okay.
That's got 4 tracks from Pulse and 4 tracks from Pure, which are the PSP versions.
Yeah.
So it borrows a lot of stuff that you've already seen, but it's in glorious HD and 60 frames a second.
See, that sounds exciting. I must admit that all the sequels never quite did it for me. The original was just so simple, and so you've got to fire this weapon. Because I think in the later ones you can change the weapon or you can drop it, or...
You pick up, in HD you pick up.
It's just, I think they tried to do a little bit too much with what is a perfect, simple formula. So
I liked Wipeout 3. That was my favourite out of the whole.
Which one was that? What happened in that?
It was.
You went around a track really fast. I
guess futuristic race with lots of shooting. Actually, yeah. I just felt they'd refined it by that point,
right.
and it was still simple in terms of the tournaments and races that you did, but it just looked so slick. And the main thing was that they had the sense of speed properly down. Then, and for me, that's the key with Wipeout games. Is that you need to just have that sort of eye-bleeding speed going on
totally.
screen. And, Wipeout 3 did that for me.
It's a thing where you become, and it took me ages to do it, where you become one with the console, man, and it's all intuitive. And for an hour, I just couldn't get around. I was coming 7th and 6th, and I was going, I used to be good at this. And after an hour, suddenly it just clicked, and I became one with the PlayStation, and I was away. And I can't remember how you do the turbo start, though. That's the one thing that was... It's that thing of pressing the button at just the right time.
Similar timing to Mario Kart.
It is similar, isn't it? I couldn't quite work it out. I think I hit it once by accident. So that has sucked me in. £2. What a bargain. You can't go wrong. Jane, you were playing Wipeout HD Fury. Anything else?
I tried Fat Princess, actually. That came out a little while ago.
You've been mentioning this.
Yeah, and I was really excited about it, and it was a tiny bit disappointing. It looks great. It's really cute. But a single kind of match takes a long time because you end up just like you're fighting another team, so from one end of the map to the other, and you end up in the middle ground for a lot of the time, just hammering away on each other. And it feels like the balance isn't quite right with all the classes. Like, it's strategic team-based, and you've got classes, so you've got a healer and a magic user and a warrior or whatever. And it's just something, the mechanics of all those classes together just means you end up spending a lot of time in the middle of the map, not getting to the other side and actually, winning the game. So that can get a bit tedious.
And you play this against someone else?
Yeah, it's online.
It's online. Okay. Yeah, those games can be quite frustrating. There's a wonderful map on Halo Wars. I can't remember which one it is. If you're playing 2 against 2, I played a game that went on for 2 hours once, and after 2 hours, after an hour and a quarter, all we'd done is we'd gone from the top of the map to the bottom, and they'd gone from the bottom of the map to the top, just because it was so evenly matched that you just swapped around, and it was... So yeah, there are games like that where it's... you need a bit more variation.
Just some tweaking, I think. It
A
could
little
be,
bit of tweaking.
Could be good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Wii Sports Resort. I think Nick's been playing that as well,
Yeah.
so I'll get in there. But it's quite
okay.
good actually. It's as a party game.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're playing the archery. The archery is actually pretty good with the
Mm.
Motion Plus. It's quite good as a party game because you have like 4-player or whatever, and you each have a bash.
I'm about to do a little bit of filming for. We have got their
Mm.
own channel on the Wii apparently, and so I'm going to spend a day at an archery place doing archery, and then the archers are going to be doing the Wii archery thing. So is it going to be? Do I need to practice?
Well, no,
It's okay.
It's a Wii game. You'll be
Okay,
fine.
cool.
I mean, it feels good. I've never done archery, so I can't say
Mm.
if it's realistic or not. I expect it's not, but it still feels good. You draw back the nunchuck, and then the Wiimote is the bow.
See, I like the sound.
Proper.
Yeah, the bow proper.
And
yes.
then I'm like the string. What's the wooden bit called? I don't know.
The string and-
yeah. So the nunchuck
know.
is the string.
Yeah, I think it's the bow proper is the actual technical term. Yeah,
I got it right. So no, that was good fun. And the sword one. Where you go around and you just bash
that's quite
people.
good. Yeah.
I'll let you explain that one if you
You're up
played
on a
it.
podium having a sword fight.
Oh, I've
And,
seen this. This looks brilliant.
Yeah, the purpose is to force the other person off the podium
Yeah.
with your fencing skills.
Like a
And,
kind of gladiators style type thing. You just send them flying and they get knocked off.
Exactly, yeah. But rather than using elaborate swordsman techniques, you end up just flapping wildly into the air
Yeah.
as fast as you can until you basically bitch slap the other person off the podium.
I found the motions that are most effective the ones that make you look the least cool. So people who are like trying to show
Right.
off and look fancy in front
Yeah.
of the TV are actually the ones who are not faring best.
Now, does this need the new motion sensor thing? This is
Motion Plus.
Motion Plus.
Yeah, it's
this
the
requires
add-on.
that, does it? Mm-hmm. And does that actually make a big difference? Can you notice the difference from playing a game with it and without it?
Yes, I think you can. I'm not convinced that Wii Sports Resort shows it off to its best amount. Although, having said that, on the Frisbee, you really notice it.
Frisbee. There's a Frisbee game.
Yeah,
Well
I was
done.
playing golf frisbee, and it's actually pretty accurate with the tilt sensor. You know,
That's the thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? As you move your hand with the Wiimote in it, you just see such an accurate recreation on screen of the Frisbee moving in your hand. And then you really start to notice it. The game that really showed it off for me best, Motion Plus, is Tiger 10, which I've been playing this month.
Tiger
on
10?
the Wii. Tiger Woods.
Oh, okay.
PGA
Yeah, sorry,
10.
yes, I don't know these abbreviations. I do apologise. Yes.
And that's Motion Plus enabled as well. Really, really works brilliantly with it. And I tried playing it with it and without it, and without, this game is barely playable. to be
Really?
honest. Yeah. You're doing your golf swing and it's just all twitchy and it doesn't work properly at all. But with the Motion Plus, it's really smooth.
How much is the Motion Plus?
It's under £20.
Oh, okay, well, that's okay then. That's not.
And
so
you
bad.
get it bundled with the games as well.
Oh,
I think.
okay. Well, then fair play. That's good.
I think Tiger's about £40 or something, and you get it. You get it with
the
that.
big criticism has been that this is what it should have been like. First off, this is what you promised us, Nintendo, when you brought this console out however long ago it was. But it's okay. They're bundling it with games, and that's pretty good. What else have you been playing, Nick?
Well, I've been playing those two, and I was playing R-Type the other day on Xbox Live.
No, classic shmup. This is a superb shoot 'em up. You can't go wrong with it.
Absolutely, yeah. But similar to what you were saying about Wipeout and remembering yourself as being better at it.
Yeah.
Years ago, I was the same with R-Type. I was dreadful. I switched on, and I couldn't get through the first stage. I was just getting taken out left, right, and centre. And I thought I used to be really good at R-Type. I could get miles through the game without even losing a life, and it's all gone. It's all gone.
Hey, here's a question we should throw out. Actually, it's a slightly retrohead question, but please answer this on the forums. What's the best shoot 'em up? The best shoot 'em up of all time. I played a brilliant one on. In fact, it was the same time as we got a PlayStation. I got a Commodore 64 from a car boot sale for £10. And there was a shoot 'em up on there called I.O. that nobody has ever heard of, even hardcore Commodore fans. And we busted 5 joysticks just with the bashing away because it was such a good game. You're a fan of the shoot 'em up? I think it's more of a boys thing because it's just mindless button bashing, really.
Well, I like some of the next gen ones, like Super Stardust.
Right.
I like Geometry Wars, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I can't say the
yeah.
retro ones. No, I don't have a great attachment to those. I
Okay,
suppose.
well, dear listener,
Yeah.
please go to the forum. Let us know what you think is the best shoot 'em up of all time, and we will probably disagree with you in a slightly aggressive way that we do. Worth downloading from Xbox Live, though, is it?
Yeah, I think so. You get both R-Type and R-Type 2 So you can play both those, single player or multiplayer, and it does this really cool thing when you're playing that if you hit the right shoulder button, it morphs back into the original graphics. Because it's in 3D graphics,
Nice.
it does it a really nice effect. And then tap it and it comes back in.
They do that
It's
in
really good.
Monkey Island, don't they?
They
You've been
do,
playing
yeah.
Monkey Island. You can flip between the old graphics and the new graphics.
Yeah,
From what I understand. I haven't
you
really gotten
even
into
get
it yet.
you get achievement points for doing it the first
Aw.
time. So if you want 5 easy achievement points, get Monkey Island and hit that button. But yeah,
I just
it's the
remember
same
another
thing.
thing I was playing, 100 versus 1 to 100, 1 in
Oh
100.
yeah, I had to go
100.
on that. I was rapid. Well, I mean, I was good. I just wasn't fast enough. People had response times of like 0. I'm
I
not sure how
couldn't
that's
quite work it.
possible.
I think I'm an idiot because I couldn't quite work out what was going on. It
Okay.
had me up, and there was someone else next to me, and my times were going against their times for some reason. I was quick though. I was
good.
quick, and then I got an easy question wrong. Are they still in beta? Because it
Yeah.
kept crashing, man. It was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it kept crashing, and they kept saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we've got to stop." And we'll be back in a minute. We'll be back in a second. Okay, here we go.
Were you
And
playing the proper like live hosted version or the kind of the practice ones they do during the week? Because there's two kinds, right?
I thought
That's
I was
right.
playing the live hosted
You probably
one.
were. I wonder if
I was
that's
about like
reliable
7
too.
o'clock at night, and I think that's when the live ones.
Yeah, it
are
depends
on.
on the day of the
Fridays
week.
and Saturdays.
Oh, maybe I wasn't. Maybe
Was
I
the live
was. Maybe I wasn't. All right.
Interesting.
Now another thing I know you've been playing because I've been playing it with you. Beatles Rock Band.
Yes,
We went.
indeed,
We
yeah.
went on a jolly together. I've never been on a jolly.
Field
it,
trip.
was, it was lovely. It was nice. We met in a very dodgy pub in Camden.
Yep.
And it was weird. I've only done a couple of these games, press launch things, and some of them are very well presented, and there's lots of free booze and lots of nice food and pizza, and there's glamorous looking ladies and all, and everyone. And then there's some that are a little bit ropey. I thought this was a little bit ropey. The presentation, it was just some. I mean, it was it was excellently put on. I'm not having a knock. I just think it was just in a small corner of a pub, and there were blokes up there playing Beatles. It just seemed a bit.
There was another one the same day that was for Beatles Rock Band as well. Later on in the evening, that was actually at Abbey Road.
Oh, what? Hang on a minute. Why did we go? I've been sold a pop here. Why did we end up in a pub in Camden? And we could have gone to Abbey Road.
We didn't get invited to the Abbey Road one.
Oh, really? We're not.
We got invited to
we're
the
not good
Camden
enough.
pub one.
Who got
so-
invited to the Abbey Road one? Then who's better than us?
Good question.
I think it was maybe Music Press.
Yeah.
Like the games
No.
press get the
that's
pub
not
and maybe
fair.
Music Press.
No,
get
Is
I
out
enemy
of
think,
it.
I think
turned
that's
up?
exactly what it was. Yeah.
Fair. Okay, but it was a jolly good afternoon. It was jolly entertaining. And there were crisps and sandwiches. So
What
that
did you
was
think
nice.
of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant to talk about, isn't it? Okay, the game. I've been banging on about this for months. I was a little bit disappointed, as inevitably. I tell you what I was disappointed with. I'll go through what I was disappointed with. The drums. This is me being a Beatles purist and being a bit of an idiot. I thought the drums looked a little bit cheap and cheerful for what they were. The Beatles logos thing is just like it's just like a sheet that you stick on with what's the thing where it interlocks? What's that called?
Velcro?
Thank you.
Velcro, okay.
Yeah, it's just stuck on with Velcro, and I thought it looked a little bit naff.
agreed, yeah.
The guitars look really good, but they cost, was it 90 quid?
Yeah.
A pop?
They are crazy
For
expensive.
the guitars? Is that what they normally are on Rock Band?
No, not
think
not
that
standalones.
expensive.
No, I mean you can get the band in the box edition, which gets you drums, a mic stand,
And one guitar, the
and a
bass.
single guitar, yeah, and the game as well is all in that,
Yeah.
and that's about 180, which I think is a reasonable package.
Yeah.
but 90 quid for a standalone guitar
I think that's
is
taking the mick a little bit.
it's
So the
getting pretty
instruments
high.
disappointed me a lot. So there's me thinking I'm going to buy the whole package. Suddenly I'm thinking, well, I'm going to use my Guitar Hero stuff.
Yeah.
Even though the drums are different on Guitar Hero, I thought they were, and I checked. The Rock Band have got 4 pads.
Oh, yeah.
And Guitar Hero's only got 3.
but then cymbals as the fourth.
Has Rock Band not got the cymbals?
No,
It's so
not
crazy. What's going on?
Did they announce any bundles for the Beatles game? You'll be able to get 2 guitars in the game, or
Yeah, well,
anything
there's
like
that band
so-
in the box.
Are they going to do band in the
Yeah,
box for that?
there's
Okay.
There's one guitar, one mic, one stand. Stand's good.
Stands are
addition.
essential, I think. Really.
Yeah, if you're doing Beatles harmonies. So that all disappointed me. The game itself, I thought was brilliant. Actually,
Yeah.
it was good fun. It's it's Rock Band with Beatles songs, the best songs in the world. So that's great fun. I didn't do any of the singing. I was too nervous to do the singing in front of everyone in the privacy of my own. Did you do any singing? You
I had a go
microphone,
at doing the
didn't
harmonies.
you? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Respect.
It was as
Respect.
you'd imagine.
I got instantly far too confused with harmonies, but I was playing the bass part,
Yeah.
and so I was strumming along with that, okay, but
But
it
we had
was
to
all set
we had
up
to
on a
stop
stage.
because you're a proper left-hander.
That's right, yeah.
Like, as is McCartney, but it was set up for a right-hander, so we had to stop halfway through a song. He's like, I can't do it. And we had to change it all over. Are you a Beatles fan, or are you...
I like the Beatles. I wouldn't describe myself as a Beatles
Right.
fan. I don't go out and buy every reissued
Yeah.
album or anything.
What, as a casual Beatles listener, what did you think of the game?
I really liked it, mainly because I think they've done a few new things in it, which are cool. The vocal harmonies.
That was good.
It's a really nice addition. It gives you the opportunity for 3 people to sing at the same time rather than just one, and that's important for getting your scores up. And so it does make it feel a bit more like you're properly singing a Beatles song then, because it wasn't all about just one person singing, was it? So yeah, I liked it. I thought the presentation of it is fantastic as well. It looks beautiful, especially playing the later songs when it goes all psychedelic.
Yeah, that's really good. There's some really nice kind of visual effects where it goes a little bit trippy, and I thought the animated Beatles looked wonderful. You know, they look really cute, and it's I thought that was really cool.
And I did find myself sort of swaying like one of the Beatles as well while I was playing. So it obviously gets into your head pretty easy, I think.
Yeah, I was kind of doing the John Lennon, bobbing up and down, but still getting a few McCartney head shakes in. There was that lad who was working for them on the drums.
He was
it was
good.
amazing,
He was
wasn't
good,
he?
yeah.
He had it on like super duper hard level for the drums, and he's like just all over the place.
Yeah.
But it was, thumbs up for the game, the instruments and the stuff. I'll wait till they reduce the price.
They do look beautiful as well, the instruments.
They look stunning,
The guitars do anyway, they're very well done.
Yeah,
But,
the guitars are great.
Price-wise, steep.
But very, very, very exciting. And the music, the Beatles songs sounded brilliant. They've all been remixed, and they've is it remixed or remastered? I can't remember which is which. But they've been re-something, and they just sound just stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
But it was just a load of blokes in a pub at 2:00 in the afternoon, playing Beatles songs and singing badly. There was some guy that was singing that was just terrible. It was really embarrassing. We're all like, oh my god. But good. Not excited by it at all, are you, James?
I was just thinking, did they at least hire out the pub, or were there people like playing darts on the other side of the room?
They did
That's
hire the
good,
pub,
that's
yes.
good to know.
It wasn't, they just set it up in the corner hoping no one would know.
No one would take a photo. Yeah.
Anything else? Because you've been playing a couple of pre-releases.
Had some other demos. Batman, Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
Which I got to play about the first level of, basically the intro tutorial stages of it. Looks good from that. We've had a more in-depth preview go up on the website since then, which you can take a look at. It looks really cool and very, very nicely put together.
Right.
Awesome voice acting. Mark Hamill does the voice of the Joker.
That's the only work he gets these days, is in video games, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah.
He's in a couple of the early movie video games when they start releasing games on discs.
Wing Commando, is it?
Is it Wing? It's
so.
something like that, isn't it?
I'll
It's,
check.
bless him. Feel sorry for Mark Hamill. He's due a comeback, surely, isn't he?
Well, he's very good in this as the Joker.
Yeah.
He sounds properly deranged.
Really?
Yeah, really good. So, yeah, the voice acting in is very good. But I think early signs is that it could be really good fun because it's quite a simple-to-use combat system.
Yeah.
It doesn't use many buttons, but it's all about stringing together combos. So you do get a sense of really being Batman because it's quite... It looks really flowing, you know?
He did just say the sentence, you really get a sense of really being Batman.
Sold.
Sold. I'm in, man.
It's easier if you get your little mask on when you're playing as well. But no, it's...
Running around with his pants outside his trousers. But it's good, is it? Because with these big games, it's not quite a movie tie-in, but a franchise tie-in. There's always the style over content, that it might not quite be any good, but initial thumbs up from what you've seen.
Yeah, on early impressions, it's got that sort of moody, dark atmosphere to it that you want from a Batman game. One of my reservations was that maybe there are too many cutscenes, interrupting the flow of the gameplay, but it was the tutorial stage, so hopefully that will just lessen as you get into the meat of it.
It hasn't really come into focus exactly how, because they were talking about it being kind of non-linear. And I don't know if they've used like the word sandbox or open world or anything like that, but that it was non-linear, and that hasn't really... I don't think that's really been demonstrated yet, so we'll see that. But then it's not...
Yeah.
It's
there
not.
a multiplayer option on this? That's always my...
Isn't it competitive multiplayer? Like you can do a time trial and then someone else can do a
nuts.
time trial. I don't think you can play against each other.
It'd be good if
Yeah,
one
I'm
of you
not
was
sure
the Batman, one of you was the Joker running around beating
Yeah.
7 bells out of each other.
I know you can play as the Joker if you've got the PS3 version, but not on the others.
Oh, okay, sneaky little bonus.
Yeah,
for the PlayStation
indeed.
people.
Indeed.
Well done, you lot.
So, yeah, I had to go at that, and also Halo 3 ODST.
Any good?
played multiplayer
Yeah.
of it. Didn't get to play the single player. Looked cool, yeah.
And what's it
It's,
like? Is it like Halo? Is it like Halo Wars? Where are we going with this?
It's like Halo 3,
Yep.
except you're not playing as the Master Chief anymore. You're playing as an orbital drop shock trooper, an ODST.
Well done. Good
I
one.
remembered it. Yeah. Yeah, so everything that comes along with that, you're no longer this super soldier, so
Yeah.
your strength is lessened, you're not as fast, you don't jump as high, that kind of thing. But you do have other skills now, like you've got a visor that you flip down, so you can put that down, and all the enemies are outlined in red then, and the friendlies are outlined in green.
Beautiful.
And you get like sort of improved night vision and stuff.
Is this
like
done
that.
by Bungie?
Yeah.
Because there's another game that is another Halo game that I thought wasn't being done by Bungie. Or did I just dream that? There's another Halo game coming out, isn't there? That was previewed.
Reach.
Right. And
Yeah,
is that
Halo-
Bungie or is that?
No, I don't believe that is.
No,
I
it's
think
that's
that's-
Bungie
Is it?
too.
Is it?
Oh, right,
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
okay. That stands.
Sorry.
I stand correct. Someone had tweeted me and asks. There's an idiot called Elmo who keeps twittering me, and he said, "Oh, ask Nick if he's excited about Trials HD." Do you know what this is?
Trials HD.
Trials HD.
Oh, no,
I don't know what this is.
No.
I thought it was. I thought you'd know. I threw it in there as some kind of maybe it's.
No, I feel caught off balance now.
No, don't.
No,
Maybe I've just said something very, very rude, and all the geeks are laughing. He said it. He actually said it. What an idiot. Anything
no,
else
that's
you've been playing?
possibly
Because
right.
you've been playing demos aplenty this week. It's like
I was playing Forza Motorsport 3
Yeah.
this morning,
Oh, okay.
actually, over at Microsoft Towers. They had the E3, they had it at E3, and they've got a near final build at the moment. I think they said
Right.
they're 3 weeks away from completion or something
Yeah.
like that. So it's almost done. And I'm not a huge racing fan. I mean, I like your Wipeout and your Mario Kart
Yeah.
and stuff, but realistic racing sim type games, I'm not usually that into. But I do have a good time with it. I've tried it once before, and it's really good fun. I was telling Nick earlier, there's plenty of stuff for the hardcore, so there's like hardcore difficult mode, but if you're playing in the ultra easy mode, there's a racing line, of course, that tells you when to brake and when to accelerate, and then there's auto braking, so you don't even need to brake, so you just like
what's the
drive
point?
along the racing line.
No.
And then there's stability to control, traction control on, and damage off, so in the ultra easy mode you
For
could be
babies.
playing Mario Kart.
okay. Well, here's a
but,
question: when you get a new game, what level do you start playing it on?
medium, or the average, or
Me too,
whatever.
yeah, normal.
I don't think I've ever played a game on easy, and I don't think I've ever gone to hard. I know that some people do it because you get more achievement points and but I don't really. I always stick with the medium.
I've heard someone say you get the impression that if any difficulty level was particularly in mind when they designed and developed the game, it's probably the middle setting.
Yeah.
And you want to choose the one that the developer was working to,
Yeah.
because that's the sort of the truest intention of the
I seem to
developer or
remember trying
something.
fear on hard. It's just boring. It's just you stood there shooting, and as 20 people come at you instead of 2. It's just it just seemed a bit relentless. Hey, another question for the forum: is there anybody out there who will admit to the first time they get a game, setting it straight onto easy level? Or anyone who wants to big up themselves and say, yes, I go, forget the medium, that's for lightweights, I go straight to hard. Should we point them in the direction of the forum as we've just
Yeah,
chucked
plenty of
it
stuff
at
to
them?
answer. tech.uk.msn.com and click on message boards and let us know.
Yeah,
I've
please
just
do.
thought of a game that I did play on easy when I first got it, actually.
Go on.
The only one ever, and it was Rock Band. So I was dreadful, first of all, when I first picked up
Really?
that thing.
You disappointed me.
Didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, I only played the first few songs on easy. I was pretty soon, storming up the levels up to giddy heights of medium. But, easy at first.
I saw a guy at some demonstration playing, I think it was Rock Band. Yeah, it was Rock Band. Doing it on like, hard level. But then really showing off and doing the thing. We had the guitar behind his head, and you just think, well, go and learn the real guitar. You're as good at that, a plastic thing with 5 buttons. Go and learn a guitar. Why, you'd be amazing at it if you just put the time and the dedication into that. Any other demos you lot have played that I've not been involved in? I feel a bit left out this month. I've got nothing to do.
Nintendo had their Christmas event, so the stuff they're going to be selling in the festive season. They had Professor Layton and Pandora's Box / Diabolical Box, depending on which title you go with.
Okay.
That was nice. I mean, we talked about
That's another point and click.
Not,
is
it's
it?
a puzzle solving kind of picture storybook type game.
We
and
like
it's,
Professor Layton.
Yes, we do. It's more of the same, different storyline, different puzzles, so nothing wrong there. And they also had Zelda Spirit Tracks, Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, which is the new DS Zelda game. And he gets around in a train on it, as you do.
Okay, yes.
And it's a little bit like Phantom Hourglass, actually, which
Right.
is the previous DS game, in that you don't move around by drawing a path, but you have a phantom kind of buddy. So it's a bit like playing co-op, but by yourself. And so you draw a path out for this phantom buddy, and you can like solve kind of level puzzles like that. So yeah, look good.
Did it have their inflatable horse riding seat?
No inflatable horse riding seats.
I found
I'm
this on the
afraid.
internet. I've not seen a picture of it, and
No.
I don't know.
It's just a patent that they filed. So
Oh,
I
is
don't
it?
think it exists yet.
But if they filed a patent, that must mean they must be
They're thinking about
they're
it.
close to something.
I don't know exactly how it works, but possibly it's a possible. You know,
Okay.
if suddenly the market demand
Because when I
for
watch Dragon's
seats
Den,
goes up.
they have the thing that they've patented already when they go to the Dragon. So they'll have. There was a lady the other week who had some sandals where it was the base of a sandal and the top of a sandal, and you could put different tops on and clip it on. And she'd made them, and she was applying for the patent then. So no, I don't. know
Oh,
if
so you think that there's a
I
prototype
think they've got
out
one
there?
somewhere.
Yeah, well, I guess there must be a prototype.
They've got
and
one.
they've,
There's some dude in Japan who's riding this, and he's
Wow.
taking it home for his kids to have a play on. So, from what little I've heard, it's an inflatable horse riding seat.
Yes.
There's that game in the arcade, isn't there, where it's a horse riding thing, and it's the most exhausting. It looks like fun. It's like, hey, let's have a go on this. And a minute and a half into the game, you're just wheezing, wishing for its night. Where you sat on a horse, on a saddle, I believe they're called, with some reins, and you've got to kind of rock backwards and forwards and whip the horse, but don't whip it too much because it'll get upset. And it's the most exhausting thing.
This will be an absolute killer, I think. Apparently it's designed like an exercise ball.
Right. Okay.
You know, and so you've got balance on top of it for a
Firm
start.
buttock muscles. At
But
the
isn't
end
one of
that.
those half
Hopping
exercise
about.
balls you see at the gym? You know, the flat bottomed kind of.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
Some of the
seen
pattern
those.
sketches look like that. So,
Oh,
but I don't know
okay.
how whether it's set in steel because there was some of them were inflatable and some of them like foam
That would
filled
make more
and
sense,
things
to
like.
be fair.
Yeah, if it was
Yeah.
not actually a spherical ball that you
Otherwise,
could roll
it'd
around.
be all over
Yeah.
the place. I've printed this out, which specifies some of the wording of the patent, which says the really good thing is it's not just limited to horses. You can use it to simulate riding other animals. The patent lists bulls, camels, elephants, burros. I don't know
Burros?
what a
Donkeys,
burro.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, dolphins.
Dolphins.
Have you got the new Nintendo Dolphin Racing game yet? It's awesome, guys!
And whales as well, in fact.
I think we can quite safely say that the Japanese are crazy.
I
We
think
love
that-
them, but
I
they
think
are
that's
crazy.
fair. I think that's fair.
Hey, you're going to Japan soon, man. You're going to find out firsthand. When you go into their arcades, it's just wonderful, the bonkers stuff they've got there. I must draw up a list. A couple of other things. We mentioned last week that last month, that there is no add-on control for the iPhone. And apparently they're bringing out a steering wheel control that clips on the front. I don't quite know how it works, but for your game. And there was someone on the forum who got very, very angry that we hadn't heard about...
I've got it.
Have you got it there?
Hang
Do you want
on.
to read it out? He got very, very upset with us.
If they are gaming experts, how come they don't know about this iPod control bolt-on? There's a web address, icontrolpad.com. I weep that such obviously badly informed people can make money at pretending to know about games.
Yeah, pretending to know about games. Right.
I feel
okay,
ashamed.
there's a few things there. I went to that thing. It's a tiny kind of little homemade... It looks all right, but it's not some major... It's not like a joystick that's been released and we've never heard of it. It's a tiny, tiny little thing. Of course you haven't heard of it. I don't think I've ever billed myself as a gaming expert on this. I'm just a gamer that gets to come in and talk about playing games. I don't know. Jane, are you a gaming expert?
Well, I wouldn't like to describe myself as... I work... I can see what you're saying, because you're
Yeah.
saying you're paid to write about games.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
part
okay.
of your job, and you didn't know about this thing, but we don't know about everything.
Can't know about every little thing, and that's the beauty of this. Is we kind of ask questions, and the forum members, people get in touch with us and fill in.
But the racing wheel for the iPhone, it's like I think it's got like a suction cup, so you actually you
Right.
couldn't use it on the go really. I mean,
Well, that was the criticism, wasn't it?
you've
It's
got
not
to
really a
stick it to
mobile
a desk
thing.
or
Yeah.
a table or whatever, and then the iPhone sits in the middle of the
Right.
wheel.
Okay. Oh, that's silly then. Yeah.
If you really wanted a racing experience like that, I would probably be playing on a console, like a home console.
Is miming a steering wheel in
Steering-
front of him. How
yeah.
does that feel? Nick? Good. Works for you, does it?
It's going okay so far.
Or if you're on the train,
I'm trying to
you've got
work
a little
out how big
table
it
in front
is.
of you. No, it's quite small. So it's Yeah, the size of an
So
iPhone,
would
really.
you be able to hold it in your hands, or do it
your
with your
feet,
fingers, or?
No, I think it's hand size, but it is
I
a very
just don't
small
really
diameter.
get the point.
Obviously.
That's all. I'm just a little bit bemused by the idea. I like the idea of games on the iPhone. It's really cool. But when you need to start making peripherals and stuff just to make them work,
Yeah,
isn't that really getting beyond the whole point of portable
I
gaming?
think it possibly is, unless there's a tiny little joystick that you just stick on the top. And
Yeah.
that's the big thing with arcade games on the iPhone. I mean, I'm playing chess with friends at the moment. I've just downloaded Word with Friends, which is like Scrabble, but they can't call it Scrabble. And they're brilliant because they're kind of old-fashioned games. But arcade-style games on the iPhone, the controls is the big problem. Wolfenstein 3D, great game, the controls don't work. Duke Nukem I was going to download, and I just read all the reviews, said, great game, the controls suck. Why has no one devised a good control system? Pac-Man on there, which is a very, very simple game, kind of works. You can either tilt it, which I don't like doing, or there's a tiny little control thing. But I've yet to find an arcade game on the iPhone where the controls are really smooth and wonderful, and I think that's the big downside for it.
Well, it's not a gaming machine, is it? That's the.
It's not, but they're starting to market it more like that, I think. Particularly the iTouch. They're kind of saying, hey, I think they're surprised by how well the apps are doing, in terms of downloads and stuff, and how much money it can generate. And so they're starting to say, hey, well, this is a gaming console as well as, MP3
definitely.
player and all of that kind of ting. A couple of other things that I noticed. We did say this was going to be a PlayStation special. I think we're kind of dwelling in PlayStation more than we normally do. We do get accused of being Xbox heavy, and that's not through any editorial bias. It's not because the man is telling us we must. Just, that's just the way these things work out. So we're trying to be a little bit fairer in our time. A couple of things I noticed, that Konami are re-releasing classic PS2 titles, including Metal Gear Solid 3 and Silent Hill 2, 3 and 4, in kind of, not limited edition, but they're doing a small run of it and just seeing how they sell. And I guess there's still a huge market for PS2 games. There's still people that are out there buying them, aren't they?
PS2s, yeah, still popular. And they're cheap, like these games, £10-20 they said,
Yeah.
so bargain.
Which is very, very good. And also, Little Big Planet is coming out for the PSP, but no one knows when. The developers won't say when. Amazon have got it up saying it's available in October. Player is saying it's available the 20th of November. So
Really?
you take your pick, kids. When's it going to be?
Is it going to be another shambles like Gran Turismo on the PSP? Wait
probably-
about 5 years.
Yeah, there was a lot of waiting around for that, wasn't there? And
Yeah,
it's-
well, it's still not here. Is
it still not out?
No,
I
it's
thought it
still
had come
waiting.
out.
No, they've finally announced when it is coming out. But
When's that? 2012.
it's coming out the same date as the PSP Go.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be.
Yeah, so Little Big Planet should be quite fun, I think, when that comes out.
A couple of other things. Movies. I think it was the very, very first podcast we did about movie
Yes, it
crossovers
was,
and
yeah.
stuff. So I thought it'd be nice to get a little nod at that because there's a couple of huge movies coming out. Well, there's the Halo movie is rumoured. Rumours. It's on hold.
It's on hold. It's been on hold for a while.
Spielberg is linked with it.
as
but
a producer,
as a
yeah,
producer.
absolutely.
Ooh. But will be rubbish, won't it?
It could have been good. That Peter Jackson originally was down to produce, I believe,
Right.
and this guy, I'm sorry if I get his name wrong, Neil Blomkamp, I think is it. He's directed something that's out very soon called District 9. I don't know if you've heard about it.
No.
But it looks amazing. It looks a little bit like Half-Life, for the
Okay.
gamers out there. It's a kind of alien drama sci-fi thingy. Our movies editor's seen it and said it's fantastic. So if he had done Halo, the Halo movie, it could have been fantastic. But I think he's
I've
I think
heard
he's
of District
not attached
9.
to the project
It's
anymore.
kind of like, isn't it a South African?
It is.
And it's
like
kind of like
aliens
about
come to
racism and
Earth.
apartheid
And, yeah,
and-
and they're kind of separated from
And
the
is it
human
good? Because I was
population.
reading a preview of that.
Apparently it's spectacular. So,
Unlike The Time Traveller's Wife, which is a load of tosh.
I see.
Just in case you were thinking of going to see that with the missus, I wouldn't bother. And also, there is the Prince of Persia movie. with
next year,
Jake,
right?
is it Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal?
I think Gyllenhaal.
Is it a soft or a hard G?
Gyllenhaal, I think.
See, we don't... I thought it was Gyllenhaal.
I'm
that
staying
sounds
with
wrong.
the Gyllenhaal camp. Over
Okay, May 2010, that's coming out. I was looking for trailers online. There's a load of fake YouTube trailers. There's one that's quite convincing, but I was watching it thinking, well, that's not Jake Gyllenhaal. It looks a little bit like him. It was just some bloke running through the woods. There are some clips of it, though. There is... on YouTube, there's an E! Entertainment behind-the-scenes special where you see them filming some bits. They're filming a lot of it in London and Morocco. I don't know. Prince of Persia in a movie?
I think it's going to be pony.
Straight in there. Straight in there.
Let's be honest. I mean, game movies that are good are few and far between. Prince of Persia, I don't know. I like Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor.
Who?
He was awesome.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay, yes, I know the fella.
That's the
Yes,
guy.
yeah.
Gyllenhaal. That's the one. He was brilliant in Donnie Darko.
He's a brilliant actor,
and,
definitely.
I haven't seen Jarhead. Apparently, he was awesome in that as well. But Prince of Persia, come on, he's just like he's buffed himself up and everything, hasn't he? And he's dressed like something out of Gladiators and. I don't know.
I'm not a fan of kind of sweeping desert epics. You know, Lawrence of Arabia doesn't do it for me. I find it a little bit dull. Speaking of Donnie Darko, did you know there's a sequel to Donnie Darko?
Oh God, don't get me started on that.
Have you seen it?
No.
Apparently it's a stinker. Darko.
Yeah.
None of the original people are involved. Always a bag.
Except the lead is his sister, who was the little sister in the original. So obviously hasn't got any work since.
Yeah, we've all done those jobs.
Why did they have to make that? Anyway, it's not a movies game.
Yeah, no, sorry, off on a movies rant. But okay, Prince of Persia. We will wait and see.
Yeah.
That's all of the information I have brought in. Do you two have any bits and pieces that we haven't covered that you feel there's no there's no big games releases
Fairly quiet
at the moment, or are there?
September, October is when it all kicks off.
Yeah.
And you've got
Okay.
the kind of the autumn winter frenzy.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on that. Oh, here we go. A Metal Gear Solid on the forums was said. Mag. Please get some info on Mag. Ian, I will love you full time if you do.
Okay.
They actually announced a release date for North America, 26th of January. So
hang on a minute.
maybe we're
What
looking
Mag?
at
What's-
massive action game. 256 multiplayer. We did talk about it just
We
after
did,
E3.
yeah, and I remember and it got me feeling a
Yes.
little bit sexy, and I'm feeling sexy again. Yeah,
There you
after
go.
rubbing my
so
leg.
early next year.
Okay,
Probably.
we'll do that. Shall we have a look at the forums and see what they've been saying? I think they've been kind of. Well, let's do. A lot of people have criticised me for saying that the SNES is underrated. Ali Bongo. Ali Bongo, he used to be a magician. I doubt it's the same chap. SNES underrated. Where were you lot in the 90s? Well, to be honest, I was at college getting drunk, if I'm going to be frank. 2 words, Mario Kart. Calls yourselves gamers. Hey, listen, it had some great games, Mario Kart being one of them. F-Zero, is that the game? That's not a good game at all. That's a stinker. And anyone that says that's a good game is an idiot, absolute fool. It did have some good games. I'm not, saying that. I'm just saying that on the whole, it's overrated. And I think someone...
Yeah, Will, the L4D addict, said, made a good point. He said the SNES may have been a base for many classic games, but the console was still a bit star. And there were a lot more terrible games than there were good ones. So although that you had the classics, there were also some stinkers.
I think what we were saying was just when you stack it up against other consoles and other games machines, it doesn't have as immense a library of real classics.
Yeah.
There's some standouts. Obviously, stuff like Mario Kart is great, but a lot of chaff in there as well.
Will the Left 4 Dead out? This gets me really angry, this whole Left 4 Dead nonsense. I know that the whole business about Left 4 Dead 2 may be getting a bit old for you, but I still think it needs a big discussion. I don't know why he's talking like that. The point still remains that as awesome as the concept and playability of Left 4 Dead was, it is not a full game, and not even close to what can be considered as one. I don't get that. Yes, it is a full game. It's a wonderful game. Was it 4? I think it's 4 or 5, 4 scenarios. They're all wonderfully huge. It does exactly what it says on the tin. A game of that, if you're playing with some good people, you've got that on a hard level. I played that on hard level, actually. To complete a game of that, you can be looking at an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's wonderful. What more do you expect from it?
It's really hard to gauge. How do you know when a game is big enough to be called a complete game? I mean, like, if you've got single player campaign mode or whatever in some game, and it's got 20 hours of gameplay, you say that's a reasonably long game. And I've had more than 20 hours of gameplay.
Easily. I completed Call of Duty, one of the Call of Duties, 2 or 3, in about 5 hours. Is that a complete game? Just because you're playing in different...
And then you add the multiplayer,
Yeah,
and that's the value. So
Left 4 Dead 2 is just a glorified. Left 4 Dead 2 is just a glorified expansion pack for the first game. They're charging us full game price. I'm going to buy it, but the fact still stands. Valve has not given us enough. I think that it gets me genuinely angry because Left 4 Dead was one of my favourite games when it came out. It got me picking up my controller when I hadn't done for a long, long time. Got me sucked in. Got me playing with people online. I'm more than happy to put down my money for Left 4 Dead 2. I want more of the same, please, and I will pay for it. I really don't get that.
My take on it is that people have an issue with that they didn't get enough downloadable content for Left 4 Dead, the original.
Right.
And that the sequel is now coming out, and what's in the sequel could have been provided as downloads. to add on to the original game.
Different characters, different maps, different weapons, different monsters. It sounds like a new game to me.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like a complete new game to me. I don't know. Fight it out on the forum, kids. Anything else that you
well, we did
spotted?
ask everyone what they were playing, and we had a few back
Well
on
done,
those.
yeah.
A lot of budget gaming. I recently bought an N64 for £12 on eBay, says Nico
Well
the Quail
done,
Man,
good
to play
work.
GoldenEye on.
Yeah.
So it's all a bit retro at the moment.
Well worth
and
it.
he's also bought 4 PS2 games for £20. Bargain. And he's been playing my God of War 2.
No, it's funny you mentioned that because Nick, you sent us a link about how games sales have just fallen through the floor.
Totally, yeah.
Everyone was saying, "Oh, they're recession-proof," and it's dropped. I can't remember the exact statistics, but everyone has dropped. Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. The games have just, and you know, I bought Wipeout for £2 in an Oxfam shop. I think that a lot of people. Konami are onto a good thing with these re-releasing these old games at budget prices, because I think a lot of people are going to be turning to that. £40, £35 is a lot of money to spend when there's not that much money around.
Well, it is,
really.
and then it was announced recently that Modern Warfare is going to be even more expensive than that.
Really?
retail
£55,
price
right,
for
for
that.
the
And why is
regular
that? What's
version.
their justification?
I think they said something about the exchange rate,
Oh,
but I can't remember the
nuts.
exact justification. There might have been something else involved
is
as well.
complete tosh.
Wow.
But you could always get the prestige version with the night vision goggles, right? For
Course,
however
yeah.
much that was,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
about
probably a
time.
bargain.
The thing
Yeah.
is, the sad thing is that will sell at £55 because everyone and
Sure.
it will sell at the expense of other games as well. Instead of someone going in going, "Oh, I might get that and I might get that," I can only afford Call of Duty. I'm not going to buy something else as well. So
Yeah.
they're kind of strangling the market a little bit by doing that.
Yeah.
What else have everyone else been playing? Let's have a look at.
Tiny Fragley's been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Truly is an awesome game. You gotta love killing those Wookiees and Ewoks. So.
Oh, how
there we
can
go.
you kill an Ewok? Well, I suppose after you've seen Caravan of Courage, maybe you'd want to. That's a thing. Anything else? Oh, here we go. Like, this is from Enzo de Gregorio. Like the first lady of the podcast, I assume that means you, I guess.
Presumably.
I've been playing Civilization Revolution, but on the PS3. It is lots of fun, but the units just aren't varied enough. This great slump for video games occurs every year until the flood of awesomeness in the autumn. Yeah, the summer is always, of course, a very quiet thing. There are a bunch of PlayStation games that look awesome coming up right now. I'd like your opinions on Uncharted 2 single player. I've not seen that.
It's gonna be great.
Is it good?
Yeah, that's my opinion. It's gonna be fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a release date for the PS3 version of Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition?
Oh, that's a niche question.
That's a bang on. We
Game
will,
of the Year edition.
if it's not out by the
I'll
next
look it up.
podcast, we
I'll
will
look it
have a
up.
look
I'll have
and
it
we'll
on
get
the message
those. We'll
boards.
get those facts to you. Anything else on there?
What else we got? Johnny J says, I'm still playing Dead Space on 360, so everyone's going back to last year's late releases, and it scares the pants off him, apparently. As for PS3, I don't know, I'd love to see GT5 finally released. So I think that's still TBA, isn't it? Next year, but
Yeah.
to be
yeah,
confirmed.
next
But it is on the way.
year. One day.
Yes.
Anything else, or should we leave it at that?
Homework?
Well, the homework that we've given you so far is the best shoot 'em up of all
Yes.
time. There was another question I
Do
threw
you
out.
play on easy?
You've been making notes,
Medium?
yes. Anyone easy, medium, or hard. And I think that's probably enough for them this month. You've had some good stuff, Nick. Let's save it for next month. You came up with some good bits and
plenty
pieces.
to be going along with.
You can have a nice, easy month this time, dear listener. Don't forget, we're on the iTunes if you want us. We're on the MSN website. Describe how they get to it on the MSN website.
URL,
'cause it's a little bit
tech.uk.msn.com, and click on message boards, click on podcasts. We're in there. So
lovely.
Yep.
Okay, and until next time, ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye.
Gamecast from MSN.